What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this that I am looking at on my screen right now? Okay, someone needs to help me. You're gonna have to explain this to me. I don't think I understand what it is I'm looking at, what I'm seeing here. So yeah, the expansion is going to be, this is going to be a long league and everything. People have been posting about this. Sir Gog made a video about it. I've seen a lot of people talking about it, making videos about it. His video is great, by the way, as always. And I wanted to add my 2 cents in here, but I mean, what can I say? Like, what 2 cents can I give other than like, this is just, oh my God, this is just like the worst event. So y'all, let me start with this. Okay, I've been playing Path of Exile. I just checked it today because I wanted to see. I couldn't remember how long I've been playing. I've been playing for 10 years, and I've played for a significant portion of that time. I missed a couple things here and there. I've even missed entire leagues sometimes, but I played a lot of that 10 years. This event, what the fuck is this? I've never seen this before. I mean, did I miss horrible events in the past in some of the leagues I didn't play? I don't get it. So please help me understand here. I'm going to go ahead and just give you my take. Let's start right off the bat. Here's the too long didn't watch for this video in case you just want that. Okay. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I think this is the worst event I've ever seen in 10 years of playing Path of Exile. You know, when the game was young and fresh, maybe there were some things that were a little bit lackluster occasionally, but you know, they had excuses back then for that. They didn't have a huge studio. They weren't like one of the biggest games around making tons of money. But what's the excuse for this? This is just ridiculous. So, okay, wow, to brighten up the wait, we're launching a fresh version with a little twist. This is the twist. You're going to get a 4% chance to get a regal. You're going to get a 4% chance to get a chaos orb, you guys. Oh my gosh, 40% increased pack size on one of the 6 monster pack types. You get increased pack size. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. All right, y'all. I'm not going to make this. I'm going to cover 2 things in this video. First, I'm going to cover my thoughts on this, but you already heard them. Okay, I think this is, I'm not kidding about this. Again, I'm not going to beat around the bush. If you follow me, if you subscribe to me, you watch my videos, I'm going to try to not beat around the bush on stuff that is terrible. I'm a GGG fanboy, just so you know. I'm like the #1 person going around telling everybody how PoE is like the best game ever and just the best game right now. GGG never does anything wrong. Well, I can't say they never do anything wrong. This is the worst event I've ever seen in Path of Exile in my time of playing in 10 years. Let me know if I'm missing something. And I mean, I think Sir Gog even pointed this out. Like they said, you're going to participate in a new Settlers League with a fresh economy. It's basically going to fragment the existing player base into 2 different worlds, and it's going to be even, you know, less people around, less of an economy in both economies. And then, whoa, guys, wait though. It's all going to be worth it because you're going to get a mystery box. You are going to get a mystery box. You're going to get a random item that you have no control over, and you're never going to use it. So it's all worth it to restart and do everything over. You know, one of the things I think about this kind of stuff is it doesn't respect the player's time. I just recorded a video about Delve where I'm going to say the same thing. It doesn't respect the player's time. You know, not everybody, to me, when you restart a new league, you know, there's kind of a time wasting aspect when you just redo all the stuff that you already did. And in this case, there's just nothing interesting. This isn't really a reward. A 4% chance to get an additional chaos orb. It's not a reward. Yeah, every once in a while you're going to get something good, but I mean, that's it. That's pretty much my take. I think it's the worst event I've ever seen in the game. So try to change my mind. And in fact, I was even looking at some of these comments just on the Sir Gog's take on it, his video. You know, this person, okay, I understand the delay. However, they could have gone a little bit more crazy with the temp leak. Understatement of the century. They could have gone a little bit more crazy, I would say, with the temp league. They could have done infinitely many different things that they've done in the past that don't even require any new work. I mean, they've done so many interesting things in the past. Just adding extra loot and nothing else will not bring any players back into the game. They should have done something crazier. Okay, you are absolutely right. And then this person said, PoE didn't even release yet, but it managed to kick PoE 1 in the butt anyway. You know, I totally agree. And this is a crazy thing too, because, you know, I think some people are saying, they're kind of like hamstringing PoE 1 with this. I mean, this is the worst event I've ever seen in PoE. And is it a coincidence that at the same time that they're trying to build hype for PoE 2 and they're going to be doing the early access that they want people to pay for and do, is it a coincidence that we're getting the worst event that I've ever seen in the game? I don't know. I mean, if this is really on purpose that they made this event so shitty because they didn't want to take away and detract from the PoE2 early access, then to be honest, I honestly feel like this is already the death knell for PoE1 long term. You know, we're still going to have a lot of fun with this. It's going to be a great game, but if that's true, this is basically the signal that, okay, they're going to kill PoE1, and it may not even take that long potentially, because sooner or later PoE1 is going to die and everything is going to transition over to PoE2. I'm sure about that. And look at this. I mean, was kind of hoping they'd do something like Legacy League, you know. So this would be so easy for them to do something like that. Legacy League was one of my favorites. It's one of my absolute favorites. Maybe they will do something like Legacy League before PoE2. So this felt like an April Fool's joke. There's no positivity. Rather underwhelming event. Again, understatement of the century. It's absolutely fucking terrible. It's the worst event I've ever seen. I love GGG. I love Path of Exile. I think 99.9% of the time, everything they do is amazing. This is not that. This is absolute garbage. So that's the first point that I wanted to make in this video. Okay, let's move on to the second point. Okay, point number 2. I would really like to see GGG bring back the old school race events, the race seasons. I would love to see that return to Path of Exile. And this, I decided I was going to make a standalone video about this because I've been thinking about it a lot recently. I was going to put out just a video about the old race seasons and what I think GGG should do and to bring them back. But I felt like these two topics, now that we've got this new news and they're so related to each other, that I might as well just combine them together into one. So Sergog made another video. I watch a lot of Sergog videos, so I'll probably comment on them sometimes. They're always great. And right before we got this news of this absolute fucking garbage event that we're going to get, you know, he made this video basically talking about, you know, his thoughts on some good ideas for good November events for the league. And he basically talked about things like Endless Delve and Endless Delirium, which I guess they've done in the past. I probably didn't play those events. And he even talked about things like ideas for interesting kind of new item ideas. He was talking about how, oh, what if they made, you know, this type of new item? Like he was talking about the Foresight fossil, for example, in his video. It was kind of his new original idea for an item, and that could kind of shake up the game and make something interesting. You know, it's so weird to me because I feel like GGG, has always been their strong point. When I started 10 years ago, what they even said in their own videos when they would be interviewed and talking to people about why Path of Exile is so successful, one of the things that they would say is we make the most out of, you know, our small number of developers, small amount of development time, and we really make it count. We find ways to reuse things in interesting ways. You know, for example, Sergog talking about, okay, what about an idea for a Foresight fossil? You take a fossil and you give it the Hinakora's lock effect, and, you know, okay, interesting idea. Okay, that would take basically no development time. Here's another thing. I'm not going to beat around the bush about development time, okay? I have a pretty decent good idea of how long it takes to code up certain things. A lot of people, it's another topic that people love to beat around the bush about, I guess just because they don't know anything about computer science or programming. If you have a Hinakora's lock in the game and you have the effect programmed into the game, it doesn't take any development time to just put it on another item that's a fossil. I mean, that should be like a less than an hour if the developer knows what they're doing. And the only thing really that would take almost all these things that people recommend, you know, it would just be maybe somebody testing it maybe for another hour, and it would probably work perfectly fine on the first shot and they could just ship it. I kind of want to know, like, what happened to the PoE of old where they kind of did a better job, you know, putting new, interesting, cool things in the game. Again, unless this is an attempt to kind of go ahead and already start the process of killing off PoE1. So I watched this Sergog video and he was talking about, you know, oh, what about another Endless Delve event? What about another Endless Delirium event? I think what happened to the old school racing events? Okay, I loved the old school racing events. It was when I started playing 10 years ago, and they lasted for a while. They did them for a long time. That was just like, gosh, was that more fun than the actual game itself? I loved the old school racing events, and this is a perfect example. So I'm going to assume that there's going to be people here. I mean, there's new players. People that subscribe to my channel are new players. I get comments. They say I've been playing this is my first league. So a lot of people probably are totally advanced, you know, but some people don't know. So let me go over just for a minute the old school race season events. Okay, so if we go to the Path of Exile website, if we go to events and season and events, there's this old tab that doesn't really get a whole lot of love, in my opinion, anymore. And I was looking at this earlier, And actually, I didn't even know that they did run race events for this November 2023 and March 2023. I kind of thought, so I missed these two, okay? Medallion. Did I play in Medallion? Okay, I did. So I played in the last true, this was in 2016. So they did two new ones, and then all the way back in 2016, okay? That's, what, 8 years ago? I was playing in the old school race events. So you can see I've got my season reward points. I got 48 season rewards. These are sitting in my stash somewhere. These two. In fact, on standard, I have I think I have almost 2 stash tabs full full of just these old school alternate art race items. Okay. Not only were the races actually really cool and really fun back then, in my opinion, they're better than any races that we get today. It's totally going to be a matter of opinion. I know a lot of people really like, for example, Zizarin's Gauntlet, and I'm not going to take anything away from that for people that like that. I think that totally has awesome stuff going on too, but I just really love the old school race seasons. And so for those that don't know, this is kind of what it looked like. So again, I played in this race season from 2016. The only 2 that they've had from 2016 were 2, and these aren't even really the same. If you look at these newer race events, these are totally different. They're 3 1-week races. It's completely different. And to be honest with you, I kind of have problems with these 1-week races because I like for games to give something in the game that people who live like a normal life, a balanced life, but are still put a lot of energy and effort into the game to try to be good at it and they enjoy competing. I want there to be events and things that allow those people to have a chance to compete in an event. When you make an event 1 week long, a normal person cannot have any possible chance because, you have people that play like 16 hours a day every day for the week, and a normal person just cannot compete with that. So I don't like 1 week races. I would never compete with it because, even if I'm like a PoE YouTuber, ooh, look at me, I'm still not going to play 16-hour days for 7 days in a row. That's never going to happen. That will never happen for me. Probably ever again. We'll see, but I doubt it. These look cool. These look great. I mean, even the Krangled Passives event. Wouldn't this be so much better than what we're getting? This is crazy. And this is the thing, talking about, what about how much dev time it takes? They've already done this event in the past. All of these, look at this. A Blast from the Past, Calandra, and Sentinel both enabled. Why didn't we get this instead of the absolute fucking garbage bullshit shit event that we got for this league? That's crazy. Shifting Stones. Okay, that looks pretty interesting. A mix of different Atlas Keystone. What happened here? So this is why, again, I need someone to help me understand, explain this to me, because I don't get it. I don't understand. These don't require dev time. They're way more interesting than what we got. What happened here? And the March, there was a 4-week Ruthless, all these things. These aren't the old school race events of old. The old school race season events, they were called race seasons. So let's go back now. So now we have to, and then there was this huge gap from 2023 all the way back to 2016, which I'd love to hear also. Maybe I missed an announcement or something. Can somebody explain also, did they put an announcement out why they ended these? I don't remember. Anyways, I competed in this, okay? So what these race seasons were, for those that potentially don't know, is if you look at this calendar, they would put out an entire calendar of all these different events. And if we look here, so for example, 30-minute Endless Ledge. It's kind of like Endless Delve, where you just do delve endlessly, except it's just a ledge. That's a crazy event, and it lasts for 30 minutes. So any person, if you have a 30-minute window slot open in your day, you can compete in this event and you can try to get first place. And depending on let's see if we can click this and still see. Oh, cool, we can. So if you click these events, you can see here's the ladder of people. They got to the best person got to level 22. And anybody can compete in this and you can win. And then depending on what rank you got, you would get a certain amount of points. You would get certain types of different alternate art rewards depending on what the event was, stuff like that. So I won alternate arts in some of these events in this season, I'm sure, because I played a bunch of different seasons because I played a lot back then. And then, you look, there's these 12-minute burst events. These are races that are literally 12-minute races, and they would have them back to back. So it's from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. They would have 3 12-minute races. This respects people's time also. This is, again, people, if you want to debate this, that's fine. If you hold a 1 week long race event, you cannot compete. You cannot compete time-wise because they don't respect the fact that you have a job. This respects the fact that you have a job. Yes, it happens at 11 a.m. They should have probably done different timings, but as you can see, they do have, maybe it would have been better to, they have ones in the 3 a.m. and stuff. That's something that can be figured out. But I had a little bit of flexibility also back then. I could kind of hop out of work for a minute and play a 12-minute race, for example. You know, I was working a full-time job. I was working probably 60 hours a week, 80 hours a week probably at that time. But, you know, you can still find a chance to sneak in a 12-minute burst event at that time. So these were super fun, and it's something you can compete. You have a good chance of competing. And look at all these events. Headhunter. Does it still show the rules? I think the rule was that you just have Headhunter on the whole time for the event. What a cool event. I mean, like, half of these are just interesting, cool events. Exile, Onslaught, Gravicious Kill, that would be a longer one. There's all these different events. You get to see all these different crazy things going on. And every time you do well in a race, then you get these race points, and they build up. And then at the end of the race season, you get these really amazing rewards, okay? Here's a whole nother thing that I haven't even mentioned yet. The rewards. Look at the old race season rewards. Look at the newest race season they had. Okay? Where's the interesting rewards? I don't see it. I don't see the interesting rewards. Where's the interesting rewards? Let's go back to the last race season that they had back in 2016. These rewards are sick. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't understand about these. Probably all of these items to the right here, probably the right half, they're probably all worth at least a mirror at this point. If you go on standard, these are probably multi-mirror items. Who knows? Vol's Devotion, do any of them even exist still? So the other thing about these old race season events is every single item that you would get in the old race seasons were alternate art items, and you can transfer the skins on them to your regular items, so you can kind of bling out your character with these cool, interesting rewards. And the only way that you get these rewards is by being good at the game. And even if you have a full-time job, if you have 12 minutes that you can play the game, you can potentially compete in the event. They would give them, like, it would be like first place, second place, third place. Like, first place would get a Tear of Purity, second place would get a Knight's Hold, third place would get this little guy. So some of these would be more common, and some of them would be more rare, and you'd have to do really well in the race, and they would compete on each class. Okay, they were super fun. I loved these race season events. Some of the most fun I've had in Path of Exile, and I don't get it. I don't understand why they quit doing these. I don't understand why they gave up on this. And this is the thing. Oh, well, you got to be careful because we don't want to use up too much of the dev time. Where's all the dev time for this? Okay, they were doing this back in 2016 when the company was probably, we'd have to check how many employees did they have in 2016 versus 2024. 8 years of growth. Every single league they grow, basically. And yet they were doing this, and they weren't just doing this back in 2016. Let's go way back to race season 1. Basically exactly the same thing. 109. They had 109 different race events. A bunch of them were probably unique. It doesn't show the schedule anymore. I actually didn't play in race season 1. This was before my time. But they ran 109 different events, and this was back in February 23 to April 7th. Okay, it doesn't show the dates on these, but you know, these go way back. And if you look at the rewards, you know, each race season we go look at the rewards. Race season 1, all the rewards are awesome. Like this red beak, it had, I'm pretty sure it had a unique 3D graphic, because I kind of got into collecting a lot of these alternate arts. A lot these race season 1 are rare. I don't have any of them, I don't think, but you can look up online and see the alternate art versions of a lot of these items. These are like some of the most interesting, cool reward that they've ever given away in the game, and they did this for a long time. Every single league, pretty much, you could count, there would be one of these race seasons, and they would give these amazing, awesome items out. Look at this tabula rasa. Okay, maybe some of these items you're gonna love, maybe some you think it looks totally stupid, but I actually think a lot of them are super cool. And I think everyone can pretty much just agree these rewards are infinitely better than basically any other rewards we get in the game anymore. You know, it's kind of funny. Asmongold, if you watch Asmongold, he talks about this a lot, because, you know, all these games, all they want to do is just sell you shit nowadays, right? They don't really care. They're just trying to sell you stuff. GGG, again, I love GGG. They're one of the few that I would say do well in this area. But it is true that if the only interesting cosmetics you can get in the game are things that you have to pay for, it's like, I think Asmongold has even said this before watching all these videos about this. It's like, what are we trying to gain by actually playing the game? Because there's no interesting cosmetic rewards. All the best cosmetic rewards, you swipe your credit card and you get them. So what are we playing the game for? Now, if you look, for example, I picked out one specific race season. Let's go look at that one. Okay, race season number 10. oh, look at this reward that we got back in race season 10. Now, any veteran player is going to know about this. Zizaran, this is like his pride and joy. Zizaran's pride and joy, I'm pretty sure is, I don't know if this is his number one, but I've seen him talk about it several times. And he made the video about how he had been saving forever to buy it with like 1,000,000 mirrors, or I can't remember what it was. And it's this really cool alternate art Alpha's Howl. I mean, imagine having events in modern Path of Exile now, 8 years later, where you can actually get something really, it's not only is it cool and badass, it's like totally rare. Getting 500 in a race season is pretty tough. And it's awesome. And you can actually work for something. You can play the game, you can become better at it, you can have these hard challenges, and you can actually get cool rewards. What happened to this? Like, is it just me, or isn't it so sad that we lost this? We lost events that you're able to compete in. Even if you work full time, you can still have a chance to compete against the big boys. Any event that requires huge time investments, you can't compete against the professional Path of Exile players. Okay, these events you can compete. You could even do like a one-day thing. Maybe you take a little bit of time away from work, you can sneak away for a couple hours, you can compete in a race, you can at least win some of these items if you do well in the race. They were just totally fun. I loved them, so I won't repeat myself absolutely to death, but if we go through here, I just think these events were amazing. I would love for GGG to bring them back. I don't know why they don't. I'd love to hear y'all's opinion. And I just want to ask GGG, if anyone ever hears this, please consider bringing these amazing events back. You guys were running them. This race 10 was back in 2014. That's 10 years ago. 10 years ago, when the game was nothing compared to what it is now, they were running these amazing events. This one had 120 events. They were running these back then. They had amazing rewards. Now you don't get anything for rewards. You get a fucking mystery box. Whoop-de-fucking-do. A mystery box. Back then, you could potentially get a sick-looking alternate art Alpha's Howl that's probably worth like a bajillion mirrors now. Now what do you get? What do you get? You get 4% chance of a Regal or a Chaos Orb when we're already halfway in the league and it doesn't even fucking matter anymore. Oh, it's so crazy to me. And if I'll just end the video with this. Let's just look at a couple more of these race season rewards. Like, they were so sick, these rewards. And now you only get the interesting, cool items and rewards by paying. And again, it's like, what's the point of playing the game? I have a pair of these Goldworm boots. They're awesome. I love the 3D art on these. I'm sure I'm gonna use the new command where you get to bring these across leagues, but I haven't used it yet. But I have quite a few of these because I used to collect these because I knew that these were going to be valuable. I knew it. And now I look at the trade site and they're all like extremely, extremely expensive. I knew that was going to happen. And so I bought as many as I could back when I used to play. I may even try to go back and buy some more now. I'm playing more again now. I mean, this Envarius, like, it's sick. You can skin transfer this gold ring. Like, they don't even really introduce items into the game still to this day, even paying money, where you can really like get interesting, cool, like, ring skins. If you do this stuff, you could potentially transfer these on to various rings and belts and things. Like, look at this ring. It looks sick. And you could have this cool blinged out character. They don't even offer that in the paid rewards. Like all they would literally even have to do in a new interesting event, like, just give us some alternate art ring and jewelry skins that you could potentially bling your character out with. How much time does that take? It literally, all they have to do, they could run an AI art generator to generate some of these things nowadays. It would literally, I could generate these in like 30 minutes with an AI art generator. It wouldn't be as good, it wouldn't be perfect, but you get the gist of it. They have professional artists. They can whip these things up in no time flat, I'm sure. So with that, I'll wrap up the video. Just wanted to put my thoughts out there. Be interested to see if anybody agrees with me or what you think. And if you find these types of videos interesting, I'll probably put these out every once in a while, just responding to what's going on. And okay, that's about it. GGG, please bring back race seasons. Final note before I wrap this video up. I would love to see PvP seasons come back. These, I don't think there's any chance something like a PvP season will ever come back, because I don't think people that play Path of Exile like PvP. I actually thought PvP was awesome and sick. I used to do PvP in Path of Exile. It was super fun. Yeah, it's not perfect. It has lots of problems, but it's still something interesting and fun. What would you rather have? A PvP season that most people don't really care about, or a 4% chance to drop an additional Regal Orb? How did they even put this out as the, like, how is this even the advertisement for the league? Who chose this picture? 4% Regal and Chaos? Who chose this? Who did this? What's happening? All right. That's it. I'll leave it there. All right. Take it easy, y'all. I'm still going to keep enjoying Kalguur League. I think it's great. I'm going to still have fun with it. I'm going to keep playing. I'll catch you in the next video.